Is Mary Robinette Kowal, and I am here with my friend Ursula Vernon, who is the author, under the name T. Kingfisher, of A House with Good Bones. By happy chance, I was also the narrator for this book.
There was no happy chance. I asked for that.
It's happy chance from my side that I got to do it. Fun fact, I actually went to high school with Ursula's husband, and we're from the same region of North Carolina. So I got to trot out my native North Carolinian accent. My favorite reviews thus far of the audiobook are they should have gotten a real Southerner.
I'm still not over that one.
It delights me. It happens with every book where I do a Southern accent. I'm just like, you're thinking of Southern California and the way they do it on television. It's not the same thing. So I'm curious, like when you decided to set it in North Carolina, what were you what was the draw for that? Was it, hello, this is familiar and comfortable territory? Or was it, there's a lot of Southerners are just generally fucked up. So there's a lot of material there. Like what made you go, I'm gonna set it here?
Actually, a lot of it was the wildlife. I had pitched the book as it will be about vultures. There will be vultures in it. And the vultures I'm familiar with are black vultures, which are endemic to the Southeast. And they are awesome birds. They are super social, which raptors generally are not social at all, but black vultures are. So you get all the people who go into raptor rescue and whatnot go in going, I'm going to work with eagles and owls, and they come out going, I would die for vultures. Because they like can have a relationship with you that is not just do you have food, are you dead, okay, then I don't want to talk to you. So I knew it had to be about vultures, so it had to be in the South. And I'd already written 2 horror novels set in North Carolina, and that is The Twisted Ones and The Hollow Places. And so it was familiar ground. If I wanted to describe something, I just had to drive around the neighborhood. The subdivision in that it's set in is very similar to the one that I live in, which is a very standard style of subdivision all over rural North Carolina, where somebody bought a cow field and put 10 cookie cutter houses on it. And so it was very easy to write the setting. And the secret, if there is a secret to the horror novels I set here, is that whatever time of year it is when I begin the book is whatever time of year is the book is set in, because I'm just like, okay, let's see, the weather was muggy. And if Stephen King can do it for Maine, I can do it for North Carolina, damn it.
Absolutely. So follow-up question, what are you drinking?
This is honestly just a boxed red wine.
I was kind of hoping it was a boxed red wine.
Yes, because boxed red wine does show up in the book, and yes, I am actually sad because there has been no decent boxed Malbec in the stores for like several months now. I think there's a shortage or something, and so I have been forced to drink things with names like Red Blend, which is always a crapshoot.
Yeah. My husband's a winemaker, and that's actually one of the things he bemoans as well, is that there's very good boxed wine in Europe. And the US is still in that, oh, boxed wine, it must be so déclassé, so we can't do it. And that means there's only the cheap stuff, but it's so much more reasonable if you are like only 2 people or a single person, because it doesn't oxidize.
Yeah, and I trying to go through a whole bottle by myself before it goes bad. Whereas
healthy.
the box just
Not healthy.
Yeah.
I am drinking A House with Good Bones. This is 2 ounces of mezcal, 3/4 ounce of a rose liqueur, a 3/4 ounce of maraschino liqueur, and an ounce of lemon juice. Served
That
on
sounds
ice.
lethal.
It's lovely. I'm really happy with this one. I will write the recipe down and send it. But I was like,
Absolutely.
we need a cocktail to go with this book.
And I do love tequila, and I admire mezcal, although sometimes it is too smoky for me. I'm more an Irish whiskey than a Scotch person, but there are some lovely mezcals, and then there are ones where I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep. I felt like, given some of the events deeper into the book, something with some smoke made sense, and definitely something with roses.
Oh, absolutely. That great call.
So Without going into spoilers, there are two things that stood out to me in the book. One is that you managed to take things that are really lovely and make them deeply creepy.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
and the other thing is that you took things that are normally quite creepy and made them fascinating. So the roses become extremely creepy, and I don't think that's a spoiler in any way, shape, or form. But bugs, because you have an archaeopaleontologist, which was not a job I knew existed, I got deeply fascinated by the bugs.
I have found bugs fascinating for a couple of years now, and I fortunately the work at the my current manuscript, I am getting to indulge some of that. Yeah, I deliberately did not want to make this one a bug related horror because there's so much of that. I was like, I want the bugs to be, if not the good guys, at least not the problem.
Yeah.
And I occasionally think that if I hadn't become a writer, I would want to be an entomologist because they're just so fascinating and there's so many of them. And there, I keep having the experience where I will find an interesting bug and I will look it up online, find out what it is, and then I will go look to find out more about its habitat. And it'll be like, we have no idea. We know it lives around here. We don't know what it eats. We don't know where the young live. We're guessing they live in rotten logs because other things in the family do, but nobody's seen one. And that always freaks me out on this existential level because I'm like, this is an insect in my backyard. You should know. And
Yeah.
somewhere a grad student should have done a study on the life of the golden snipe fly, but they haven't yet. And when I say this to entomologists, they engage in this sort of hollow laughter of the damned, which I'm sympathetic to. I
Yes.
have to tell you, the best thing about the bugs in this book, the research for it, and sadly, I didn't get to include this in the book, but just after I had handed it in, I was in Pittsburgh. And a friend of mine who is an entomologist up there, online fan for the weird social online, I've known them for
Yes.
years, but never met them thing,
Yep.
was like, hey, I happen to be a curator at the entomology department of the Carnegie Natural History Museum. You'll want a behind the scenes tour. I'm like, yes, of course I want this thing.
Yes.
And so I go there and it was amazing. And I love any time that someone who is super passionate about something gets to like geek out. But let me show you the crane flies. And this guy who put all these crane flies on pins is amazing because he can keep all their legs on. And crane flies are the big things like daddy long
Yeah.
legs kind of things and porch lights. And if you try to mount one, apparently their legs just fall right off. So this is like
Wow.
black magic. And this happens to be the museum where they filmed the scene in Silence of the Lambs, where Jodie Foster goes in to look at the moths. And she's like, yeah, it was right here. Here's the tray. And I'm looking at them. They took some liberties and did some After Effects on the skull design. Like, yeah, that's. But
Fair.
the best bit, and I am so sad I could not work it into this book, but I'm working it into the next one, was she was telling me about caterpillar inflators. Apparently, okay, put your standard insect on a pin. It's pretty dry. It's not that big deal. Caterpillars are very mushy and have a lot of stuff in them. And so if you put one on a pin, it's just going to decay. And that's not good
Oh,
for your thing. So you have to clean it out and hollow it out, but then your caterpillar just deflates.
right.
So they actually sell, and back in the olden days when naturalism was more of a gentleman's hobby kind of thing, they sold patent caterpillar inflators that would reinflate your deflated caterpillar. And like Boy's Life Guide to Entomology, whatever, had instructions on how to make one at home. And I am like, this is the greatest fact I have ever been exposed to. Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
goodness.
Caterpillar reinflators. Yes, I
Yeah,
was so
I am
happy.
I am also sad that you didn't get to use that, but I am deeply or any of that. I'm so glad that I got to know it. Did you get was the cataloging of the endless cataloging that she's doing, that felt very personal in some way, as if you had to do something, if not that exact thing, something comparable.
Strangely, I have not, but I have had to organize hundreds and hundreds of photos that are all just labeled image
Yep.
0567 whatnot and go through them manually. So I knew something about that, and I had a pretty good idea that someone somewhere had to do this. I have had to do much smaller projects occasionally, And the funny thing was that I was like, okay, I hope this is realistic, and I hope this is I'm not committing some serious egregious sin that all the entomologists be like, no, that's not a thing that would ever happen. And I had so many people go, yep, I had to do that for, and not just entomologists, like art historians. Yeah, I had to catalog 5,000 slides, digitized slides of pottery shards and whatnot. And I'm like, yeah, this is a thing that many of us have had to do now, I think.
Yep. 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 That it felt very real and very relatable. So swinging back to, and I think I said paleoarchaeology instead of entomology earlier. Was that a field
It's
that you
okay.
knew about ahead of time, or is that something you found while you were researching it?
I did actually know it existed because I think I follow one on Twitter, although I don't think she posts very often, but occasionally I would trip over things. My degree long ago was in anthropology, and the number of things you can learn from the insects in prehistoric grain stores tell you amazing things, because if there's an insect in a Viking grain store that is originally from Asia, there was enough trade of grain back
Yeah.
and forth to get the larvae there and stuff. So it is actually a field. There aren't very many of them, but I was just like, yeah, this is fun. And I want to do something with bugs and also something with digging. And I was like, archaeoentomologist, that's a real thing. All
That's
right,
it.
let's do it.
Archeo Yep. Yes, I was proud of myself every time I managed to say that in the audiobook. Archaeoentomologist.
I
That
am
and
proud of you too.
Lammergeier Lane. I was like,
I wanted to call the book Lane, and my no one will be able to pronounce it. And just straight veto. It would be a great name if any of us could pronounce it. I'm like,
yeah,
you
correct.
win.
Correct. I was a professional, and still I would get to that and I'd be like, Lammergeier Lane.
You did
Uh,
a great job.
Thank you. Did you actually listen to it?
I listen to small amounts of it. My hearing is so crap that I generally don't listen to
Yeah.
my audiobooks, just so I think I listened to the first 30 seconds, honestly.
No, that's fair. Like I was gonna say, most authors do not listen to someone else narrate their book because it sounds so different than what's happening in your own head that it's extremely disconcerting to listen to a narrator.
It can be disconcerting. I will still do it occasionally. I listen to LeVar Burton read one of my short stories because
Oh,
it was
sure.
LeVar Burton.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not so much that it's bad, it's just really intense. So I would have to keep stopping and go, okay,
Yeah.
but that was LeVar Burton.
Yeah. I have to tell you that one of the things that happened with this book, which is, I think this is actually the first time that this has happened when I've been narrating, that my engineer and I would have to stop for the day, and we're like, so are you going to read ahead? Because I'm gonna read ahead. 'Cause the way I prep books is I read the first third of them, and then I kind of skim looking to see if there are any additional characters or anything that I'm going to need to know about. But the rest of it I am discovering with the reader. And we were both like, okay, I have to know. I have to know.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
There was one day where we actually were like, let's just record long today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
High praise.
It's a very good book. So with that, I want to thank you so much. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, you are welcome to hop over and join my Patreon, where this interview will continue in book club form